Hi, nice to see you again. It's Graham Martin. I'm the Recruitment Guy from orchardjobs.com. This is number 7 in our series of videos for managers, employers, people looking to hire staff. What I want to talk about today is the internet. The internet as a source of advertising your vacancy and trying to get people to apply to your particular position. So I'm going to break this down to 3 areas. The first one is actually your own website. And we're going to talk about some pros and some cons of each particular area. Now, the first thing is you've got a website, you've got traffic. So from a pro's point of view, it's an absolute no-brainer. Please make sure that you're actually getting details of your vacancies actually on your website. And of course, once you've done that, it's free, it's easy to do. The disadvantages, though, are also worth considering. If you're looking to advertise a vacancy that is a little bit confidential, or maybe you don't want your own staff to know that you're recruiting, or maybe your competition, your suppliers or your clients, your website is not the place to go. The other thing, of course, is that you may not necessarily find the people that you want to actually see your advert are looking at your website, and it might take ages. So if you just rely upon your website to get somebody to apply to your vacancy, you could be waiting a long time, particularly bearing in mind there are so many other websites that are competing for people's interest and traffic. And unless you're prepared to spend a lot of money on pay-per-click, which is the Google auction mechanism for bidding for particular search phrases, you could find that your own advert is lost. But if you do have a lot of people regularly looking at your website, and maybe you've got an ongoing need for particular candidates for a specific role, maybe customer services, sales, or in the warehouse, you should really do it. Another downside is that a lot of people will leave a vacancy on the website for too long, and that can create as many problems as if you didn't advertise in the first place. So you've got a high profile website, you're advertising a vacancy that was actually filled last week or last month, you leave it on the site, people apply, and then of course you've got to get back to them and let them know that that job's no longer available. And that can be quite destructive in terms of your brand image. So please make sure that either you, your webmaster, or whoever looks after your IT or your marketing keeps it up to date. Let's now start thinking about the more generic websites. Now, first off, you've got some very high profile websites. Now, I'm not here to advertise or market a particular website, and we use them all the time. But if you just type in jobs on Google or any of the search engines, you're going to find 3, maybe 4 key websites that attract people on a nationwide basis. Now, you're going to pay for these. Now, we buy a lot of this space, and of course, as an agency, we buy it in bulk, so we get a much better deal than perhaps you would do on a one-off basis. But it can be very quick to get an advert on the internet. Now, from a disadvantage point of view, you are going to find, unless you're very lucky, that you're going to be approached by people from all corners of the globe, or certainly on a nationwide basis. And you need to be ready for that, because you could find that you are smothered, absolutely smothered, in applicant response. And despite the fact that you put on there that we're looking for specific skill sets or experience or relevant qualifications, you will attract a large volume of traffic. And you've got to be ready to deal with that response. And in fact, if you don't deal with it, the knock-on can be as dramatic as if you don't actually advertise, you don't get anybody. So be ready for that, be ready to reply, be ready to respond really quickly. In terms of the specialist websites, again, it's going to cost you more money, but ideally they're looking at more of a niche market. And again, they can be really effective. But be careful, you could be spending hundreds of pounds and you may not necessarily get the response at the right time. Of course, the person that's looking to apply for your job, the ideal candidate, may not necessarily be looking at the advert that particular week. Unless you pay for it to be upgraded, guess what? Somebody else is going to be advertising an extra 5 minutes after you, and your one gets knocked back in terms of the rankings. So you could be on page 4, maybe on page 5 within maybe 1-2 days. So just think about then refreshing it, adding something to it. And as per my previous video blog, it's worth spending a lot of time crafting, thinking about that particular advert and considering it from an employee's point of view. It's not so much the job they're interested in terms of the duties, they're interested in the benefits, the prospects, the training, the environment. So please think about that. If you want to get more information, it's all there on our website. therecruitmentguy.com. There's a free PDF download that should help you in putting it together. So we wish you good luck with that, and we'll see you again on the next video. So it's Graham Martin, the Recruitment Guy from orchardjobs.com, saying goodbye.